A warm welcome to fellow lecturers and my friends. Today, I and my group members are here to present about our final year project for subject DFT 5011 for integrated project. Next. Before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Komati, daughter of Arjunan, and my matrix number is 01DDT20F2051.
And my name is Hemasri, daughter of Chandraram, and my metric card number is 01DDT20F2001.
And my name is Tinagan, son of Raja. My metric number is 01DDT20F2032.
This presentation will be based on the proposal presentation for our final year project. Our project's name is based on authentication by using session-based password. We have named our system as shielded and spare password security system. So let us start with our presentation. Next. First of all, let's look at the introduction of the project. A login on is the entering of identifier information into a system by a user in order to access that system. A login generally requires the user to enter the username and also the password. A username referred as an account name, for example, is a sequence of characters that uniquely identify a user. Next, to create a strong password, should contain alphabet, numbers, and symbols. Most individuals are having trouble choosing a strong password. By this, the password is easy to guess or hack. From this research, we have decided to build a system for a secure password system. It's known as authentication by using session-based password. We have named our system as shielded and spare password security system, as I mentioned before. In this project, we will use pair-based scheme. Pair-based authentication scheme is to be carried over the secret pass. Furthermore, this pair-based scheme will generate session password for the particular session where there will be a visual keyboard which will shuffle at every another login session accordingly. So the purpose is to employ a session password scheme since every login session uses a different session password, making it exceedingly difficult to hack into the user account. So this is the introduction for our system. Next, we're moving on a problem statement about our project. Even though passwords can be easily cracked, and for instance, hackers can break the majority of weak password in a matter of minutes or hours due to the advanced algorithms that can test millions of words and character combines every second. So second, we move on to the objective of our project. To develop a complex authentication and authorization method to overcome the shoulder shuffling attack and the complexity for hackers to guess the password. These are our main objective of our project. Then the next part will be the scope of our project. First is to make more complexity to hack by using this technique as session password scheme due to what every login session is performed with other session password. Hence, hacking to the user account is very hard. Furthermore, this system proposed for preventing shoulder shuffling attack. Besides that, we will use authentication scheme, which is pair-based scheme. This system will be based on web application. Next, now for the scope, we'll get to know that administrator officer and employees are our potential users. Administrator officer is the admin for this system and admin will handle this system. For example, modify the system and manage the problem in the system. Secondly, the employees become our target user because they will use this system for work purpose and they are always preferring a strong password. Next, this is the software and also the hardware requirements for our project. In this project, there are 4 main software we will be used. It is Windows 10, Visual Studio, and SQL. The hardware that we will use is laptop with i5 processor, laptop with 30 GB hard disk, and laptop with 4 GB DDR4 RAM. That's all from my side. Now I will pass to my next presenter to explain more about our project.
Thank you, Komadi. Now I would like to continue with project significance. So basically, the project significance of our secure system is to prevent users from using usernames and passwords that hackers may easily guess. This may cause steal your personal identity information and sell it to fellow criminals. Furthermore, use password to unlock other accounts where you use the same password. From the research, we have found many systems related to this problem. As a solution, there are systems with a technique which is session password scheme. We will use authentication scheme, which is pair-based authentication scheme. We use this method because of its simplicity, cost-effectiveness, ease of operability, and practicality. Moving on to literature review. Well, we have declared here to compare our system with the competitors. So here it is. We have given two names of competitors. So the first one is Secure ID, which is enterprise-grade identity assurance solution that helps organizations efficiently manage access requirements using various authentication methods. Second is Duo system, which is for organizations of all sizes that need to protect sensitive data at scale. Duo is the user-friendly zero-trust security platform for all users, all devices and all applications. Furthermore, here are the improvement between sorry. So moving on to methodology. I'm going to elaborate about which methodology that we use. So here it is, the methodology for our project. The project testing that we use is Agile Model System Development Life Cycle. The Agile methodology is it's a way to manage a project by breaking it up to several phases. It involves constant collaboration with stakeholders and continuous improvement at every stage. Once the work begins, teams cycle through a process of planning, executing, and evaluating. In here, I will elaborate each accordingly. So the first one we need is requirements. Well, in requirement, we implement the agile requirement to provide with a more structured framework guidelines during our system development. During this phase, we identify the most important features or functions of our system. Also, we have a checklist of elements need to include to define our goals clearly for each project. We all use this information to determine what steps we need to take to produce the desired system. The second is design. An agile design process allows us to use iterative as well as incremental approach to deliver the design of the application to our lecturers, our clients, or customers. In this phase, the stages run in parallel. We divided the functionality into small parts that can be delivered independently and we start working on them. The third one is development. Now, we construct our system and we develop a web-based system. We start building the first iteration of the product with the aim of having working usable application at the end of the sprint. This is far from the final version, so it should only include minimum functionality. This functionality can be expanded on in future iteration of the agile lifecycle. The following one will be testing. Well, in agile development, testing needs to happen early and often. In this phase, where we focus on investigation and discovery, this testing phase of the agile model helps our team identify all the bugs and errors in the web-based system before we start the deployment phase. Next is deployment. In this phase, in the final step is the agile model SDLC and delivers the final version of our web-based system to user. Last but not least is review. Well, this is the last phase of the agile development cycle. After we completing all the previous stages or phases, our team presents our web-based system to the lecturers and also we presents the result that we achieved. That's it for methodology. Now moving on to references, we have given some sources that we get from internet journals and so on. That's it from me. Next, my co-presenter will elaborate further.
Thank you, Hema. Next, I go into detail about our Gantt chart. Here we can see our Gantt chart. We separate our planning and management into the number of weeks we took to complete. On our planning and management, there are 6 phases. Therefore, the first part is planning, which we will take 2 weeks. The second phase is analysis phase, which we will took 2 weeks. Next is design phase, which we will took 3 weeks. Besides that, implementation phase, which we will took 3 more weeks. After that, testing phase, which we will took 4 weeks because it will take longer to finish it between other phases. And lastly, maintenance phase, which will be took 2 weeks to complete this project. After that, I will explain the cost planning of this project. We won't spend a lot of money during cost planning because the hardware and software requirements that we will use all free only. For example, Windows 10, Visual Studio, SQL, a laptop with an i5 processor, a 30 GB hard drive, 4 GB DDR4 RAM, and more. We can fulfill all of this requirement in the computer lab at our polytechnic. So we will saving our money on this. However, we will use our money for things like printing, such as gathering, transportation, and team discussion. Last but not least, the conclusion. We are developing a system for all the daily user who needs to secure their account from hacking. In this paper, we will use authentication scheme, which is pair-based authentication scheme. In this paper, the main purpose is to avoid shoulder serving attack using pair-based scheme, which will generate session password for the particular session or login where there will be virtual keyboard will shuffle at another login session accordingly. However, the scheme that will completely new to the user and the proposal authentication techniques should be verified extensively for usability and effectiveness. Also, it is easy to use and handle. Hence, in near future, this technique has scope to use in many fields for the security purpose. So that's all from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.